Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Trunks from Dragon Ball Super. But before we get started, if you haven't yet already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another awesome review. Now, as you can see, this is not an unboxing video because I have had this figure for quite a while now, and it was only up until when I reviewed the newly released Super Saiyan Future Trunks that I realized I never made a video review of this guy. So here we are. Starting off with the box here, we do see we have Trunks in his Super Saiyan form, doing the Gallic Gun pose. We do have Trunks here, a nice kind of indigo background. So we do see here, I believe this was a P Bandai exclusive back in 2018. Of course, that was 5 years ago. I don't really remember back then what was going on, so that's that. We do see Dragon Ball Super, Tamashii Nations Bandai. And on the top here, we do see Trunks. He's holding his sword. On the bottom, we see Trunks examining his broken sword. On the side here, we do see Trunks in various different poses with the giant energy sword. Trunks down here. On the other side, we do see Trunks as well. And on the back, we do get a few poses of the figure. So yeah, let's get that out of the way and let's take a look at Trunks here. So, as I mentioned in that previous review video with the newly released Dragon Ball Z Future Trunks, the style is a little bit different. He is a little bit more skinnier than the, I don't know if I should say the older version of him or the newer version of him, because technically that version of the figure is older, but the figure itself, like the toy itself, is newer. So yeah, take it as you will. But we do see we get a little bit of nice shading kind of down in these pants here. It's not very, doesn't really pop because the pants are like a dark gray and then we get a little bit of dark gray shading on there. So it's not the greatest there. We do get some yellow boots there. We do see the Capsule Corp logo, some rips in his uniform, as well as here on the side of the leg. Camera doesn't want to focus today. We do see the head as well, definitely a little bit more cartoonish compared to the newly released version. So technically, personally, I do like that the design of the Dragon Ball Z figures a little bit more than the Dragon Ball Super figures. So I also had the sword and I put it on his back attached already. Something that I do like about this guy that the newer one does not have is that the sword actually pegs into the back so it doesn't keep falling out, which we'll take a look at in a second here. So going on to articulation, neck is on a ball hinge. It's a little bit loose for my taste, so but other than that, it's not a deal breaker. Base of the neck is on a ball joint as well, also fairly loose, not the greatest, but that's okay. We do have butterfly joints that go out to here, a hinge joint that gets you to just under 90. We do get a ball joint that goes all the way around, a bicep rotation up there, and a double bend at the elbow, as well as a ball hinge at the wrist. So getting the arms out of the way here, we do have a ab crunch of about that much and extension backwards of about there, which is pretty good. Ball joint at the waist, so you can get some pretty good mobility in there. Legs can kick forward to about there and all the way back to about there, which is very, very good. We do have the splits, but this is a older kind of body type. This would be the 2.0 body type, and this is the floppy waist one. So that does get a little caught when you're trying to do the splits. So I would say that's probably the best you can go without really forcing it and flexing the plastic, possibly breaking it. So don't flex too much there. We do have a thigh rotation right there, a double bend at the knee, as well as a hinge into the ankle, a ankle rocker, front and back, and a toe pivot that gets you to just about there. So yeah, pretty standard SH Figuarts articulation, I would say. Now, as I was saying before, this scabbard and sword piece came separately. You had to attach it. But something, like I said, that I like about this one more so than the new release is that you can see there is a peg right there that goes into this hole into the shoulder, and that actually keeps this thing from falling out. Whereas the new one did not have that and would just kind of flop all over the place, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that. So there is that. Let's take a look at some of the faces and hands that Trunks comes with. We have two open palm blasting hands. We have two sword holding hands. we have two claw kind of energy blasting hands, and the right one on this side actually has a hole in it, and that's to accommodate this Gallic Gun energy effect. Of course, it's just cast in this clear plastic with a little slight purplish pink shade to it, but definitely no paint on it, so it would have been nice if there was a little paint, but again, not a deal breaker. You just take this little peg and put it into that little hole in the hand, and here we can have Trunks doing his Gallic Gun pose, which I'll take a look at during the photos towards the end. So there's that. And finally, we have a left hand, just a kind of open, relaxed hand. We don't get a right one of this, so in the stock photos, it showed him kind of using his hand to examine his broken blade, so I guess you could say that's what this is for. Getting onto the faces. For his base head, he does have a screaming face, which you do see here. Again, very nicely detailed, but just not the style that I'm really into. Again, I'm more into that actual detailed manga, more expression face, rather than this more cartoon face. And the other face that Trunks comes with is actually a Super Saiyan face. We can see very, very nicely done here. And while we're at it, let's get into the extra Super Saiyan head that this guy comes with, which is very, very nice. Again, the hair, very kind of spiky, and he's got this extra piece of hair here that's always kind of evenly split, and that's typically Trunks. Like, you'll see this, you know it, this is Trunks. So he's got that, and we do have a little bit of nice orange shading kind of in the roots there, which is very cool. And of course, we have this face here, which is exchangeable with the other one. And of course, it just pops up via a socket there, and you would take that head off, plop this one on, and there you go. Trunks also comes with this sword, and he actually comes with two versions of this sword. So this is the complete version. To actually have him hold it, you would just take this end, pop it off, slide the hand on, and then you would pop this little piece back on. So there is that. Now, you do see that he has a sword handle in his scabbard right now. And the one that actually fits into the scabbard is the broken sword piece. Now, if you take this one, it actually will not fit. Like, it won't go in. And that's because the widest part of the sword is actually too wide for the hole in the scabbard, so that actually is not made to fit inside. The one that is made to fit, like I said, is just the broken sword piece. So that can fit in, or you can have him hold it. And that is just the exact same. The only thing is that this is broken off kind of towards the base. But the cool thing that you can do with this is you get this big Mama Jama. So, move them off to the side. We do see this is made of clear plastic. It is kind of soft and rubbery, bendy. And we do see there is kind of a little hole cut out on the inside, and that's to accommodate this broken blade. When Goku Black broke his sword, the Super Saiyan energy within him, Super Saiyan Rage, actually channeled it and transformed it into this giant, which you can actually plug that in, energy sword that we see here. So he can hold this, preferably with two hands. You can actually get him to balance on this without the display base that this figure actually came with, but I never actually took it out of the packaging because, like I said, he's able to actually balance if you stand him right without that base. So that's that. Now, bringing Trunks back here, let's get some comparisons going for this guy. Here we have the newly released previous version of Super Saiyan Future Trunks, and that is, of course, the Dragon Ball Z version. And you can see this one's even a little taller, so I'm not sure what the heck is going on here. And here we have his mentor, Gohan, and of course, this is Dragon Ball Superhero Gohan, which is the Build-A-Gohan Gohan. So, yeah, that's it for comparisons. So, final thoughts on this figure. I think this is a very nice figure. In terms of accessories, I would say this is even better than that newly released version of Super Saiyan Future Trunks. It just seems that with the more recent SH Figuarts figures, Bandai is probably trying to cut down on cost, and with inflation, everything being super expensive right now, they actually have to cut down on some accessories, as evident and demonstrated in the new kind of reissues of the Saiyan Armor Trunks and Vegeta, how it comes with less accessories than the original versions. So for this guy, he actually comes with a lot, which I really do appreciate, which again, like I said, is better than this newly released version. But the style of it, I am not a huge fan of. I would prefer the kind of Dragon Ball Z version of this character. It just seemed that everything in Super was kind of dumbed down and just a little bit more too cartoonish for me compared to Dragon Ball Z. But if you are able to get your hands on this guy, I would say go for it, because he is still a very nice looking figure and with a fair amount of decent accessories. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, take care.